Oh,
Yep,
yeah, we're ready.
34 people already.
Oh,
Nice. That's a good day when you log in and there's
Yeah.
already 34 people.
It's a great day. I didn't even get my iPad or anything.
Me either.
That's fine.
Sorry if I burped in your guys' ear.
Hi, Amy, Kat, Jesse, Chad, Matt D.
Jesse. But
Jessica.
that's Jesse S. There was a Jesse on the live right now. His last name was Boner. Jesse Boner.
Jessica.
Is that you, Jesse?
Hi, Michael Anthony.
No, you're
Hi,
not.
Julian.
You're not Jesse Boner. Okay.
Hi, Von Lewis. Hi, Amber. How you doing?
Hey, Amber. What's going on? Amy.
Hi, Monica, Stacy,
Oh, G Lowe's on.
Utah Lou. Hi, Utah
G
Lou.
Lowe got away from the
Joelle.
spreadsheets for just a minute to come on to the
Hi,
Zoom
Kat.
Cover Out Loud meeting.
Hi, Bianca, Anthony G, Katie.
We got 41. We're not going live until we get 50 people on.
What's up, Matt? Good to see you,
just
brother. Hi, Chuck. Hi, Bianca, Doreen,
Is Brett Johns?
Stacy. Hang on a second. There's someone I got to look out for. I forgot her name already, though. Darn it.
Was Brett Johns in jail?
She has a meeting that may not run long. She'll be in, if not tonight.
Is that a
next
county
week.
jail
Oh,
shirt?
Victoria.
He's doing some. He's making some license plates up in there right now. Nice. Nice to have you on here, Brett. I think I'm funny sometimes, but I'm probably not. We got two amazing guests here tonight, you guys. We've got Lori and we've got Jennifer. You all know Jennifer. She shows up to this meeting every week religiously for the past however long we've been doing the Recover Out Loud meeting. So this is a treat. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say this because she ousted herself on the podcast today that she is also an alumni of Hope by the Sea.
I sure am.
And she is celebrating 5 years of sobriety on it. That would be Saturday, wouldn't it be?
It is.
5 years of sobriety on Saturday. So incredible. She came out here to visit the treatment center that she went through. Special day. Special week. So Shane.
Yeah, bro.
Let's get this party started. Stop looking on your phone.
You're right. I was scrolling.
Scrolling.
You know me, man. I'm a scroller. Hey, there's worse things.
So this is what goes on here,
Well, the thing is
Jennifer.
The thing is this. You're like an old family member. We've known each other for 17, 18 years. So when you kind of talk, I've
You
learned.
just fucking tune out. Just like
As sad as that is, I've learned to zone out on you, bro. You know, I can cue in when it's very important. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. But then when you just kind of were chit-chatting, I'm like, bro,
he's gone.
do we need to chit-chat really? We know each other well enough. We don't need to. We could sit here in silence. Sorry, have I taken over? Welcome, everybody. Hey, Michael Anthony, how you doing?
Michael Anthony's here?
Yeah, he's right there. I saw him right there. He's new, and I thought I don't know why. I looked at him right, and then right under him is Ashley Osborne.
Are you related to Ozzy Osbourne?
Oh, she gets that all the time. She says, I wish. She wishes she wouldn't be working.
Oh, Kimberly F. says, Hope by the Sea is awesome. I spoke there on a panel 2 weeks ago. Awesome, Kimberly. Yeah. We actually are in the Hope by the Sea building.
Yeah, we are.
Right now. That's where our studio is.
We are.
Studio.
Hi, Devon. How are you?
All right, well, let's get this party started because we actually have two speakers.
Yeah, bro.
Shane, tell them why the Hopeaholics podcast.
So what happened was, how long ago was this? It's creeping on 3 years now.
Coming up on 3 years.
3-year anniversary. Yeah. Well, death anniversary, if you can call it anything. As we all know, out of great pain comes great strength. And almost 3 years ago, Chad got a phone call from his daughter that someone died. The love of her life, her boyfriend, fiance. And he was given a pill, a Percocet pill that was laced with fentanyl. And he died suddenly. And they caught the guy.
Yeah, they just caught him.
They just caught the guy. They're charging him. So this is all good news.
Yeah.
His daughter is recovering on her own journey of mental health and sobriety right now.
Yep.
I hope it's okay if I say that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we just became like a family here, and we got this podcast going. 2 years later, 3 years later, thousands of lives.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's pretty awesome, right?
It's really awesome, bro. Like, what would we be doing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because we were doing nothing before this podcast.
We were wasting time.
Yeah, just wasting a lot of time.
This is a blessing in my life.
And now Shane is a social media influencer. Yeah, I don't know who the fuck he's influencing, but that's what he calls it.
Well, I had one call yesterday. Guy said thank you, so I talked to him for about an hour. It's like it's not it's like. Well, I'm just saying it's like one a day call.
Yeah, so you have an OnlyFan.
I have yeah.
Not
I have like 3 fans, maybe 4 that I talk to.
And they're all on this meeting right now. It's
Pretty well.
It's Chuck Zamzow.
Hey, Chuck.
Fucking who else?
Hey, Jose Cruz. He's new.
Um,
Hey, buddy.
Joe B.
Yeah.
Matt.
And Matt.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
That's my crew.
Those are the only
That's my
people
crew.
that. Those are the only people that.
Throw
subscribe.
Chad and Amy in there too every now and then. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, let's get going.
All right. Who
Who's
wants to
going
go
first?
first?
I think that we should have.
I think we should too.
Yeah, just because you know what I mean. You went already.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Are you excited?
Super excited.
Yeah.
You gonna share some experience, strength, and hope?
Absolutely.
Nice.
All right. You're up.
Nice.
All right.
You're gonna go for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Minutes. I'll
Yeah.
talk forever. So.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Hello, world. My name's Lori. I grew up in San Diego, California. I'm an only child. My parents are very, very Baptist religious, Christian. And for whatever reason, that did not sit so well with me growing up. And so my mom's got some serious mental health along with some physical health stuff. So I had a really isolating childhood, lots of trauma involved around that. My dad was physically present but emotionally absent. And as a result, I wanted to fit in. And so I found those cool kids. And they showed me some stuff. And I took some stuff and I felt different. And I said, oh, I have arrived. I have found my people. And I was off and kicking. Went to 3 different high schools, graduated by the skin of my teeth. And when I turned 18, I had enrolled in a beauty school. I made it, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months in it. And I would tell all of my friends that my parents kicked me out of the house. What really happened is my dad said, if you don't want to follow our rules, you can't live under our roof. So I said, peace. I can see that now, how I left the household. But in the moment, oh no, the parents, they're the bad guys. I'm out, you know, you guys don't know what you had. So I moved in with a boyfriend and that did not last long. And the boyfriend's mom kindly asked me to leave out of fear that I was going to get pregnant. And I didn't have anywhere to go. So I wound up at the beach in Pacific Beach in between Towers 21 and 22, if anybody knows where that is. And I found a group of street kids and I was officially homeless. And I did that for probably 6 or 9 months. And I like to think we were like the cool street kids. Like we didn't have signs. We did like circus tricks to get money. So like we spun fire, we rode like unicycles. We had like weird different instruments, like a bid and bow that we would play to get money. And we just had our little hustles, you know? And one day, I was walking up and down the beach trying to hustle some guys for money. And I had like a group of bikers that I was trying to hustle and they just weren't buying my get down for whatever reason. And I saw this old dude like down closer to the beach and he's like, come here, little girl. And I was like, oh, cool. Are you going to give me some money? And he was like, no, but like, here's a trick. If they're not going to bite within 5 minutes, they're not going to. So like, keep it moving. And I was like, ah, sweet. Thanks, old dude. Like, appreciate that. And he whips out a business card and says, but if you ever want to make some real money, give me a call. And I was like, all right, whatever, dude. Put the card in my pocket, went about my day. And maybe less than a month until finally I called him. And I'm like, so what do you mean when you want to make some real money? Like, what does that look like? And he said, all right, you know, meet me down at the beach and bring everything with you. And he picked me up with all of my belongings, threw me in a van, and took me to his house, paid a whole bunch of money to get my hair done, buy me some new clothes. And wouldn't you know, lo and behold, the type of gentleman that he was. Do we have any guesses?
Yeah.
Okay.
A pimp.
Yay! Ding, ding, ding. We have
I was
a winner.
thinking porn guy.
Oh.
You know
Both
what I mean?
can apply.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he threw me in the adult entertainment world.
Yeah.
And I was not digging it after a while. You know, at some point in time, he comes to collect what he thinks is his, and I'm dishing out money as well. And finally, I was like, fuck this shit, dude, I'm done. And like, I gotta go. So I asked him if he could drop me off at the beach to see some of my friends for lunch. And I packed a backpack with things that I needed, and he dropped me off. And as soon as I hit the beach, I just ran, and I didn't look back. But then now, once again, I'm homeless. So what am I going to do? You know, I wound up staying with a friend, and he had thrown me into a strip club at this point in time. And so I was staying with a friend. He was driving me to work. And so I just dancing and saving money. And I did that for quite some time. I met a girlfriend while I was there, and I was telling her about the temporary living situation that I was in with my male friend, and she was telling me about her temporary situation, and I'm like, these both suck, like, let's move in together. And she's like, all right, cool. So it was me and her 2 kids. She had 2 kids, 2 different baby daddy, and me and her split a room. We got a 2-bedroom, and everything was great, and I had a disposable income, so I'm loaded all the time, and she's loaded a fair amount of time, and stuff just got weird after a while. There was a time when I decided to eat a bunch of mushrooms and take a whole lot of Valium. And apparently, when you take Valium in large quantities, it induces suicidal ideations. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to slit my wrist. I did this while the kids were home, and her sister was there as well. She was at work. Sister calls 911. Cops taking me down to the hospital, stitched me up because I was under the influence and not purposely trying to kill myself. They didn't 5150 me. And then I went back home, and I vividly remember like seeing my roommate like scrubbing my blood out of the floor. And I'm like, oh, I fucked up, you know? And what I failed to mention as well, so roommate that I had, 2 different baby daddies. Baby daddy of the daughter, who was the oldest, super cool guy. Baby daddy of the son, the youngest, he liked to put hands on her quite often. They'd get together, he'd put hands on her, she'd leave, they'd get together. That was their cycle of abuse, right? When I moved in, they were split, but at this point in time, they had gotten back together. And he pulled me aside one day and was like, hey, you know, I think things are getting kind of weird for you. Maybe you should move out. It's not good having you around here with the kids and all this. And I'm like, that's fair. So I move out. And maybe 3 months later, I get a knock on my door, and it's the cops. And the cops asked me, do I know so-and-so, my old roommate? And I said, yeah. And they said, all right, well, we found her dead.
Oh, God.
Baby daddy of the son jumped in through our bathroom window and stabbed her to death. I lost it. That was May 8th, 2003. And carried a whole lot of guilt and shame about that. If I didn't leave, would it have happened? All of that stuff, right? So I used that as a great excuse to continue to get loaded. And I, at some point in time, moved to Hawaii, thinking that if I moved to Hawaii, I'd get better and things would be fine, you know, because everything's all organic over there. It was just a matter of time till I found myself in a stall with a stripper named Deja snorting lines off the back of the toilet paper dispenser. You know, it was not working, the relocation. Moved back to San Diego, met a gentleman online on MySpace to date myself. And he was in Germany, and we talked for like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months. He came back here. He was in the Army on leave and spent the leave with me. I let him know, hey, you know, things are getting kind of rough over here on my end, and I think I need to go back to Hawaii and clean up. And he's like, no, don't do that. Like, move to Germany and marry me. And I'm like, okay. So we went down to the courthouse, got married, and I moved to Germany. I stayed over in Germany, was a coyote at the Coyote Ugly Bar out there for a while. That was a good time. I wound up moving back here 2 years later, and the person who he was and the person who I was, we weren't transparent about that with each other. I showed up who I wanted him to see, and he showed up who he wanted me to see. And when we moved back here, our authentic personalities showed, and we were not compatible. And we just had a super toxic relationship. And I had a girlfriend that would drag me to AA meetings, and because she couldn't drive, she got a DUI, and I would show up super stoned because I'm not drinking, right? And I would go to those meetings, and I would hear in those meetings people talk about using like how I did, but then they stopped. And I'm like, this is stupid. All right, whatever. And I remember like one night I got home, and me and an old dude got in this gnarly fight, and I went to the bedroom crying hysterically, and it felt like I couldn't breathe. Like there was 1,000 pounds of bricks on my chest, and I just couldn't breathe. And I said, if there's fucking anything up there, like let me know now, you know, that'd be great timing. And I could breathe. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay. Acknowledged it, moved on, continued to get loaded. A few days later, maybe a couple months later, I don't remember, me and old dude, things got severely worse, and I knew that I needed to ask him for a divorce, but we don't fight like normal people, so that wasn't going to go well. And I remember being in the shower and like praying to whatever's up there. If there's anything up there, give me some words to ask old dude for a divorce. And I remember hearing him open up the door, slam it, start throwing all of his stuff around. I hear him open the bathroom door, and I'm like, this is it. And he starts yelling, and I, to this day, have no clue what I said, but I said I want a divorce, in lack of better words. And he said, okay, and left. And I'm like, those words weren't mine. Like, wherever those came from, I don't know, but they worked. And it was really wild. but I didn't want to acknowledge it, so I continued to use. Fast forward a little bit of time, I meet a guy in a bar who's in a motorcycle club, and we kick it off. We start dating. He's up in Orange County. I'm down in San Diego. Eventually, I wind up moving to Orange County with him, and his motorcycle club was out of Orange County, so all of a sudden, he's not home all the time. And I spent all of my money to get us up there, and I'm seeing on social media that he's hanging out with other chicks and just doing dirt, you know, and I'm just like, what am I going to do? At this point in time, I'm cutting hair in Laguna Niguel, and I called a girlfriend. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? He works nights. He was out in Corona. And she's like, dude, he works nights, girl. Like, go to the club, make some money, and then dip. He'll never know. And I was like, all right. So I called around, found a couple of different clubs, and I went up setting up some auditions, started getting ready, and I kept hearing like these really weird noises from behind me. But we were in a new apartment complex, and like, who knows what those were? There's nothing there. Kept hearing weird noises, kept looking, there was nothing there. Finally, one last time I look over, an old dude standing in the dark in the bookshelf staring at me. And he's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Because he's been watching me outside the window the whole time, and he thinks that I'm getting ready to leave him. And I'm like, I'm not getting ready to leave you. Well, he thought I was getting ready to cheat on him. I said, I'm not getting ready to cheat on you. I'm getting ready to leave you. We got in a super gnarly fight. And the end result was that he was going to stab himself in the leg, call the cops, tell him that I did it. What I failed to mention is I'm also a fourth waiver on probation, and I'm loaded because I crossed some charges. And so whether or not I stabbed old dude, like I'm going to jail, right, on a violation. So because I have zero self-esteem and self-worth, I said, it's okay, babe. Like, we'll work through this. It'll be okay. We'll be better next time. He went back to work, and I remember thinking, like, I got to get everything out of this house. I got to take everything. That way, if he does this again, he can fucking go to jail, and I'll at least be clean. And I won't be in violation. So took all the drugs, like the good little drug addict that I am, went to bed, woke up, and I was fucking sober. And I was like, okay, all right. I made it like 3 days before I had a full-on like girl interrupted meltdown in the shower, clothes, shoes, everything on, like rocking back and forth in full withdrawal. Like I just wanted to turn my head off, and I couldn't figure out how to turn it off, and I didn't know what to do. And I remembered those meetings. And so I said, I guess I have to go to a meeting. And so I looked up where the closest meeting was, you know, right down the road in like 20 minutes from that time. And I'm like, all right. So I hopped in the car, I went to a meeting, and I sat, and I remember like trying to like blend into the wall in the back of the meeting, right? Because I'm so uncomfortable with myself and not wanting to talk to anybody. And I was like, okay, cool. I made it through the meeting. So I went outside and I started smoking. And there was this very kind gentleman that was like, what are you doing here? Because I'm also a wreck. I'm crying hysterically and just, I'm a mess. And I'm like, oh, you know, I just needed a meeting. And he's like, why don't you go inside, talk to this woman, and, you know, figure it out from there. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went inside. I said, hi, chick. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here. Can you help me? And she was like, yeah. You know, she gave me some very simple direction. Call her every day. Go to a meeting every day. Don't pick up in between. And I'm like, that's not going to fucking work. This is stupid, but okay. So went home, did her direction. After a week, she said, let's meet at Starbucks. And she told me her story. I told her mine. And there was some similarities. And she said, all right, like, what's your sobriety date? And I said, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And she was like, the date that you got the fight with the old dude. When was that? I'm like, last Tuesday. And she's like, all right, cool. Wednesday. You woke up sober, right? Yeah. Have you used since? No. All right, cool. That's your date. So we looked it up, and it was May 8th, 2012, which is 9 years to the date of my girlfriend getting murdered. I start crying. And she's like, why are you crying? I'm like, it's the fucking date. Like, I have her name tattooed on me. I sleep next to a picture of her to this day. Like, you know, that relationship fucked me up. And she just looked at me all serene and was like, honey, like, sometimes you don't get to pick your clean date. Sometimes it picks you. And I understood that in that moment, that I get one clean date. That's it. I think I absolutely have a relapse in me. I don't think that I'm privileged enough to be able to come back. So relapse is not a part of my story. Stayed clean ever since, did meetings, got the sponsor, did all the step work, all of that. I made some decisions along the way in my recovery. I got into a relationship with a guy in the rooms. I had about 2 or 3 years, and he had 10 years. We moved in together. He proposed to me at a meeting. We were going to be the little 12-step family, you know, all of that. And he wanted to have a baby. I was not a big fan of wanting to, but I understood that he wanted to, and I was like, maybe I'm being selfish. So we started, you know, trying to have a baby. And I got pregnant really quickly. and we came to visit a friend of mine down in San Diego. Like I said, we were in Orange County at the time, and he came down, and for whatever reason, like he was just fighting with me, and I'm like, this is weird, but okay, we're at a party, like let's not be rude. So he wound up leaving the party, and then I wound up going back up to our house in Santa Ana. He had a kid as well, and so I had the kid with us because we had her on the weekends, and she was 3 at the time. And so like I'm putting her in bed, I'm getting ready to go to bed as well. I turn around and he grabs me by the throat, pins me up against the wall, tells me that he's going to kill me. And I'm like, okay, well, that's out of nowhere. So I grab everything that I can and I get in the car, call my sponsor. You won't believe what just happened. Like, Jeff just put hands on me, said that he was going to kill me. What do I do? And she's like, get over here. We'll figure it out. And so at this point in time, I'm also working in treatment. I went to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor. Now I'm working in treatment. And I remember sitting at my sponsor's house thinking, like, what would I tell a client to do? And I would tell a client to utilize her resources. And so I started looking around for pregnant women shelters. And I found one that had a bed for a domestic violence individual. So I called them. They did an intake for me and they booked me. And so now I'm in a pregnant woman shelter, 3 years clean, pregnant, in a domestic violence relationship. So exciting. I remember it came time to get the sonogram and he begged me to like show up. And he was like, please, 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 like show up. Let me see. And I was like, fine, but like, just don't fucking talk to me. He's there. They do the sonogram. There's no heartbeat. And I'm like, okay. Pregnancy hormones are wild, fun fact. And so I just kind of lost my mind after that. Like all of my drive, all of my passion that I had at that moment in time was to cater for this little individual that was growing inside of me. And now I don't have this individual growing inside of me. And so now I want to jump in front of a moving car. And I also can't stay at the pregnant women's shelter either. So now where am I going to go? And he says, come move back in with me. It'll be different. It won't happen again. All of that stuff, right? And so I am loaded on pregnancy hormones. And I say, okay. And I'm there maybe 2 weeks. And he says, let's go get married. Let's run away to Las Vegas and get married. And I'm like, it's going to be different this time, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So we run away to Vegas and we elope. And we come back. And then a couple of months later, we realize it's really hard to be self-supporting in Orange County. We're both working in treatment, which does not pay very great. And so he's like, why don't we move to Vegas? We can be super financially independent there. Everything will be fine. And I'm like, okay, sure. So all of my friends are like, this is a terrible idea, Lori. Why would you do this? And I'm like, but check it out. Like, I can rent an apartment there for $500 if things go bad with him. So like, I'll be able to survive if we go there and like things go south. And they're like, that is a terrible reason, but okay. So we moved down there and don't you know, the abuse got worse and worse, and everything that he didn't do, he eventually did. And my only reference for domestic violence is my girlfriend getting murdered. So as long as I'm not dead, it's not that bad, right? It is that bad. And eventually, I remember he came down the stairs one time, just started going off on me, and it was just bad. It was super bad. And I got away from him and I went to the kitchen to grab my keys and I turned around and he clocked me in the face and I heard my face crack. And I was like, ugh. And so I got away, got in the car, called my sponsor, and I'm like, what do I do? And she's like, go to the urgent care and call the cops. I'm like, I can't call the cops. That's my fucking husband. Like, you don't do that. And she's like, call the fucking cops and go to the hospital. And so I refused to call the cops, but I called the only girlfriend in Vegas that knew about the domestic violence. She called the cops. And it turns out, so did the doctor at the urgent care. And so the cops showed up, took my report. They went over to his house, cuffed him, and then took him to jail, assault and battery with severe bodily injury and some other stuff. And I wound up getting subpoenaed to the courthouse for his day. His lawyer didn't show up, though. And so the DA was like, oh, the lawyer's probably not going to show up. They're going to want to push it off, do all of this. Eventually, hopefully, the charges will get dropped on his end. And I said, that sucks, because what had also happened is I was also moving back to San Diego at this point in time. I called my parents, let them know everything that was happening and how terrible things had gotten. And they're just like, move home. Just move home. And I'm like, okay. So I asked the DA, like, what can we do to get this over and done now? And the DA was like, well, we can offer him a deal. We'll see if he takes it. And I said, all right, let's offer him a deal. And he did. So we were done that day. I was able to leave Vegas and move back to San Diego. I moved back in with my parents, which is a humbling experience in your 30s. And I was able to get back on my feet. I started working in treatment again. I have a history of liking bad boys on motorcycles. And so I was doing the dating apps trying to find men that ride motorcycles, which no offense if anybody in here rides, but it's kind of hard to find a legit dude that rides a bike. So I had this epiphany and I was like, why do I need a dude to have a motorcycle? So I went out and I got my own motorcycle. Went out, got my M1 endorsement, and I was like, I can just be the badass that has a motorcycle. I don't need no man. So I did that. I was able to get my own place. I got a little naked kitty because I always wanted a little naked kitty. So I have one named Lucille Bald. She's my baby.
Those.
They're amazing. During COVID, the spot that I was renting, they wound up, I got a 60-day evacuation notice. And I was like, you can't do that. We're in the middle of COVID. Like, you can't kick me out. I paid my rent. And they said, we're not kicking you out because you didn't pay your rent. We're kicking you out because the owner wants to sell. And I'm like, well, what can I do? And they were like, well, you can buy it. And I'm like, yeah, right. Like, a junkie is going to be able to buy. No. And so then I had some conversation with some friends, and I got a loan officer's number, and I made some phone calls, and turns out that I was approved for the amount of money that we needed to put down. And I put in an offer, and then we went into escrow, and then I became a homeowner. And so now I have a little condo as well, and it's all mine. And I've been working in treatment this whole time since I've been back in San Diego. And a couple of years ago, they asked me to run the place. And so now I'm the program manager of an outpatient substance abuse treatment. And I'm just living my best boss-ass bitch life.
God is good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good story, bro. I was here the whole time. I didn't fade this one.
You didn't?
No, you saw me. I was hands on.
I don't know, man.
No, I was hands on. I was face. I didn't.
Was he?
I didn't fade at all. I was not faded. That was a good story.
Great.
At first, when I thought it was going away, it came back. You know, like a good movie. Like a good movie. Like I thought it was going to be over, and then the abuse came.
You know what's funny though is like we have two speakers tonight, and with different similar stories, completely different backgrounds, different drugs of choice, but also two people that have original clean dates right now or sobriety.
Yeah.
that's
No
pretty
second
dope.
tries. First goers.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, that is. That's cool.
Because I'm like 10 deep at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What about you, Shane?
Two
What?
treatment centers.
2 hours sober? Sorry, you guys. I can't help myself sometimes. We're going to move straight on to Jennifer.
He's jealous.
I'm not
He's jealous.
I love my
He's
fucking
jealous.
sobriety.
I know you do.
I love it.
I'm teasing you.
And just don't do it Shane's way.
No, don't do it my way. Do it the right way.
But you can do it Lori's way,
Yeah.
and you can give Jennifer's a shot.
Yeah.
You ready? Are you ready?
I'm
Yeah,
ready.
nice.
I'm ready.
Are you?
Jennifer's
Are
full.
you feeling good?
Yeah, she had a
after
taco, bro.
A full podcast today. Like the nerves are gone.
The nerves are gone.
Nice.
Although you're a wonderful act to have to follow up against. I was riveted by what you said. I thought, I am so boring. No wonder they brought you here.
That's the disease talking, Jennifer. Okay, that's what it does to
It
us.
still lives within me, doesn't
you know what?
it?
I'll tell you
It
something.
always will, I'm
The funny
sure.
thing is that voice lives in everybody. Whether you're in recovery, you're not in recovery, normal, not normal, that little voice, everyone has it. It's just a matter of how we deal with it that's different. You know? Yeah.
Well, Jennifer is before you
Yeah.
take off. I just want to remind everybody, like she's been showing up
She's
to
an
our
OG
meetings for a
She-
long
she-
time.
She's 2 weeks. She's 2 weeks.
Yeah, like
older,
she
younger.
might be our first Hopeaholics fan because
She
she
could
was
be.
a fan of me before
Whoa.
the
bro,
Hopeaholics.
bro.
What?
It is
Is
true.
that true?
It is
I'm
true.
not saying it is, but why even slide that in there? Like there was no.
Because I have.
No, what I'm
I
saying
have
is
a
there was
fan
no need
too.
to get.
I have at least one fan too.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's fine. That's fine.
Jennifer?
I'll give you Jennifer.
All right. Well, my name is Jennifer, and I am an alcoholic in recovery. I started drinking at the ripe old age of about 13. I thought that I had come from a normal family. Both parents worked. Both parents were married to each other until my mother passed away. Very religious. I attended a parochial school for 13 years. No, I didn't have any repeats, but I did do a semester in Poland at the Catholic University between my sophomore and junior years of college. I started drinking, like I said, when I was young. Of course, my sister and I were both rebellious. We got away with as much as we could and pulled the wool over our parents' eyes. I'm sure they had to have known something was amiss because we both got in trouble from time to time. I followed in my father's footsteps, and I went to the university that he graduated from. And while I was at Ferris in Big Rapids, Michigan, I found out what it felt like to black out. And blackout became part of my regular story. Now, there were years that I didn't drink, like when I had my son and the like. But I came to find that I was pretty much an emotional drinker. I was a social drinker, and I was seeking acceptance, and I did stupid things that I thought made me cool to somebody or another.
Let's keep going. Keep going.
Okay. And so at any rate, after I graduated from school, I met the love of my life, so I thought. And we had an age difference between us. My first husband was 27 years older than me. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me why, my parents had an issue with that. And I fibbed about his age and everything. He was in higher education, and he drank a lot, and he drank daily. And it came to a point where I felt that I was competing with the buzz. And so I decided to join in, and I was going to escape being escaped, if that made any sense. Probably it doesn't make any sense to anybody, but that's what I did. We left Michigan and we moved to Texas after he retired from higher education. And he decided that he was no longer interested in a physical relationship with me and said, if you want it, go get it. And I was sober at the time, but then I wasn't. And that actually became sort of acceptable, except that it wasn't. And we parted ways, and I ended up marrying another man. And it seems to me that on our wedding night, I became property. And that's when abuse started. I tried to talk about it with my family, and as someone so eloquently put it, you made your bed, now lie in it. And so I endured it for about 10 years. And I left, and I filed for divorce, and I went back, and I left, and I filed for divorce, and I went back. And the third time, like you, my folks said, come home. And I came home, and I had it in my head, I'm going home to take care of Mom. Mom needs my help, so I'll be able to do that. And as a result of that, I was very sad that my life didn't turn out the way it was, and there I was back at home, and I think you can relate to how that felt. And I was there when my mother had passed away, and my dog passed away, and COVID hit, and I was a non-essential worker at the time. I was a daily drinker by that time. But during COVID, I became a round-the-clock drinker. And it was actually because of the love of my sister that the day that I decided that I was going to get behind the wheel of a car and drive, my sister came home and she said, we are not doing this. You are going to rehab. And she asked for my phone. She dialed the number, and it was just a miracle that in the state of Michigan during COVID, every single treatment center was closed. But guess who was open? Right here at Hope by the Sea. And I came to Hope by the Sea. I did not have any issues with the law. I was not convicted of anything but I had a broken heart and I had a broken me. And I couldn't be in recovery for myself to start out. And I was here against my will, and I didn't know if I'd be in a straitjacket in a padded cell. I didn't know if I was going to be held against my will. I didn't know anything. And I got here and I was scared, and I met some wonderful people, so I thought. And I had a couple of episodes along the way that really challenged me. And I remember saying, if they had a vending machine with vodka in this back alley, I would buy some right now. Of course, there was no vending machine in the back alley with any vodka in it. So days 1 through 25, I was here not for myself. And I also recognized that I could be detoxed after 30 days. But would I be anything more than detoxed? And I got scared and I said, okay, I'm at day 25, I'm not ready to go home. And I said, I'll stay for 60 days. And at day 55, I didn't feel like my toolbox was full enough. And I said, I'm gonna stay. And then it came to day 85, and I believe that was during the thick of COVID here at Hope by the Sea, and I had developed COVID, and I stayed in the COVID house. At that time, I also had a child that came out to Hope by the Sea after observing his mother's strength and ability to make it one more day and make it one more day, because I really felt like that's what I had to do. Sometimes it was a half hour at a time, but I had the resources in place that I could ask for support, I could cry, I could throw a tantrum, I could write about it, I could read about it, I could slam my book down, I could start crying, I could have a tantrum, but at the end of the day, once again, I was still sober. And that worked out pretty well for me. I ended up staying at Hope by the Sea for 105 days, and that was through the grace of Chad and Donna, because at the very end, after 90 days, I was paying cash to be here. But I was so afraid about going back to the same people, places, and things, and I thought, I don't know that I can trust myself. I don't know if I can do it or not. And my sister, God bless her heart, and I don't mean that sarcastically in the Southern way, she said, you can't go home. You're coming to my house. And I went to her house, and in the meantime, someone from my previous employer, which I loved dearly, the employer, and I love my coworker too, gave me a call and said, why don't you get your own branch? And I said, why don't you get your own branch? And he said, I did. And you're light years smarter than I am, and our company needs you. I think you should come back. Well, it was in November of that year that I took a position, and I relocated to Savannah, Georgia. And I had my own branch, I had my own staff, I had my own fill plant, I had 6 drivers that reported to me, I had 7 in the plant, and I had 5 in the warehouse and in the front counter. And I thought, you know what? There's somebody that I think needs a chance. And I reached out to someone that I had met in rehab and invited him along the way to live a sober life with me. And I thought that was a really good idea because his family had turned their back on him, so he said, and he had no one. And it turns out that I was step number 13 for him. And he came out and we resided together. We had an emotional relationship, but we did not have a physical relationship. I thought it was kind of interesting because I had a dog who was 12 years old and had high anxiety. I took him to the vet, and the vet put him on Valium. I got one prescription filled But that man that took my dog to the vet every month got 13 prescriptions filled and took them or sold them or something. Wow. He never lived a sober life. And that was really heartbreaking when I made that discovery, when I came home from work and he was out. He was OD'd at the kitchen table. And I called 911, and they sent an ambulance, and they sent the fire truck, and they sent the police. In the meantime, I found drugs in his room. And I was so horrified, and I can't believe that he was doing this. Well, they revived him, and he rejected medical treatment. And the police came out, and the fire department came out, and the EMTs came out. And I said, isn't anybody going to take him? He broke the law. And they said, he did break the law. However, you didn't call because of a criminal situation. You called for a life-saving situation. Well, he had some felony things going on in multiple different states, and I had to have him evicted, and I went the next day after he threatened to kill me, and I went into hiding for about 3 weeks at a women's shelter with my dog. And 3 weeks had passed, and the police were supposed to issue the eviction notice and get him out of there. Well, I called the police, and they said, I thought you were never coming back here. You had nothing that you wanted to do with him ever again. And I said, this is my house. He needs to get out. I can't believe that the papers hadn't been, delivered to him. And they said, well, if we had a copy of the papers, maybe we could do it. I just happened to have 3 copies in my purse. They were able to evict him that day. And the next day, he broke into my house. And he was still in the house when the police came. And he went back to jail. I'm really fortunate that as an emotional drinker, that didn't shove me way over the edge. But instead of shoving me over the edge, I went to the gun range and I learned how to shoot. And guess what? I shot 7 shots that were kill shots on the paper. And I took that piece of paper and I taped it to his bedroom door. And I thought, come home, you asshole. Come home. See what will happen. I never bought a gun. It wasn't the right thing for me to do at that time in that highly emotional state that I was in. But in retrospect, that was a really telling sign that I have the strength to do this. And I've sat in silence for far too long. And on this week of my 5-year sobriety milestone, there's nowhere else that I wanted to be than right here with the people that helped me pave the way to sobriety. Thank you, Chad.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Wow.
Amazing.
I'm drained, bro. I'm not gonna lie. 2 very emotional stories. I was
right?
on the edge of my seat, but and especially since I heard Jennifer's already today.
Like much deeper. We go deep.
Yeah.
In her story on the
So,
podcast, because the podcast is always a little bit different because we pipe in a lot. We ask questions. We have our own insight that we like to bring to it. So thank you for coming and doing this, and celebrating your sobriety journey here
with us, right? And
today.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, and
That's
here's the thing. You know what I see about these 2 ladies here is both of them have been through some shit in their recovery. Nobody ever said.
Right.
Nobody ever said that getting sober was going to be easy. That it was going to be all unicorns and rainbows. It's not. Life actually shows up, and then we get to figure out how to do it, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So kudos to both of you, and congratulations on your journeys.
Huge. We got some people. Let's get right into it because
Well, hey, hang on before
Sorry.
we get into the people.
Yeah.
This is Joel's last week.
Joel.
Check out that mustache he's got going on right now too. This is Joel's last week doing the timer, you guys. Joel is about to go on
The
I
tour.
Don't know.
He's going on a tour, just some tour, some kind of
See,
tour.
I'm thinking it's a CIA mission because that's whenever I leave.
Yeah.
Where I go. But I want to know because Joel's been our timer for quite a long time, and I would like to make this commitment like a year commitment so that.
Why not 6 months at a time?
No.
Is it a year commitment at the
In
usual
Narcotics
places?
Anonymous, it's a year commitment.
It is a
You
year
commit
commitment.
for a
All
year.
right.
That means that you're going to stay sober for a year. You're going to show up here every week, and you're going to do the timer.
What if they don't know how to do the
Who
clock?
wants to do the timer? We got any takers? None? Just kidding. Huh?
Oh, there she goes, Devon. Devon's going. She'll do it.
I just want people to put it in the chat.
Devon, 4/7/25. She's hungry. She's new
hungry.
too.
We want,
4/7.
we want people to.
January, February, March. This is April 7th.
I can't see what's going on the chat because Emily keeps moving it.
April 7th. April 7th. What's the date now? It's like May 25th. She's got like 45 days. She needs that commitment. 27th. She's got 20.
She's got 49 days.
Yeah, Devon. Okay, we'll see you next
Devon,
Tuesday.
are you going to be here every week? And Joel, can you teach people how to do the timer? Because you're the only one that knew how to do the timer.
Or send a YouTube link, bro. Yeah. Devon, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I guess
Congrat-
it's Devon. Shane
Congratulations.
is being the divine Devon picker.
Congratulations.
Devon, that means you have to stay sober for a year. You ready for that commitment?
Yeah.
One day at a time. That's how we do it. One day
If
at a
not,
time.
you got our phone numbers. You call me, Chad, or Natalie anytime. Emily, Lewis, we're here for you. We're a family now. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Joel.
Yeah, bro.
And Devon. But thank you, Joel, for your comment right there.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. And appreciate. Can we all give Joel a fucking round of applause for doing it?
Bravo.
2
Bravo.
years. Like, I think he showed up. There was only like one time that you didn't. One time. So, dude,
Yeah, man. Thank you.
thank you.
Now, I have something very serious to ask before we continue. Who's winning the hockey game? Is anyone here watching the hockey game?
The Oilers.
They are.
Huh?
Yeah. Go Canada.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't even know if the Oilers are in it.
They are.
I watch basketball.
Yeah, I think they're playing the Edmonton and Dallas tonight. All right. There's not a fucking hockey fan here.
Oilers are winning 2-1.
Nice.
Emily said the Oilers are winning 2-1.
I'm following the Pacers game. Devon's following. She's
Just-
basketball.
I just want to be clear that everybody here is pretty much from America,
Yeah.
except for Shane.
Shane, yeah.
He's Canadian as
Canadian. Oh.
as everybody.
I have
knows.
my American passport coming. I just applied.
Nice. All right, Jesse,
Hey, Jesse.
you're up.
What's up, guys? Wow. Very, very powerful stories. Wow. I'm Jesse. I'm how do I say it? An addict that identifies as an alcoholic. Um, both of you women are just absolutely amazing. I don't usually get like super emotional listening to other people's stories, or even telling my own, for that matter. But listening to women that overcame abuse, that really hits home for me. My mom, um, she was in an abusive relationship. My dad would beat the shit out of her, and she stayed in it for like 10 years. And she had 4 kids with him and stayed in it. And she also was able to get out of it, and she survived it. So yeah, hearing amazing, strong women share their story like that, like I was holding back tears. I really was. Hearing you guys tell your story of how you overcame that. Both so different, but both very strong, and like, I really came to say thank you both for sharing your story. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Who's next? Michael Anthony. Hi, Michael Anthony. How are you?
Michael, alcoholic. Yeah, I am actually Justin's first cousin. My dad's sister is Irene, and Chad had messaged me a couple minutes before the meeting, and it's my first time finding this community and some great leads. I've been getting sober in recovery for the last few years. I'll kind of tie it into the leads, but yeah, and in 2020, I was in a toxic relationship. I was that bad boyfriend, and I had gotten, kicked out and actually went to my grandma's house. And one of my last memories of Justin is we had a family party and he came over with his girlfriend Aurora and we had a great time. Had a bunch of beers and it was just, relatively normal. A few months after that, I had checked myself into rehab for the first time. And the past 3, 4 years have been 8 months out, 7 months out, 11 months. But I come back pretty quick. The last year, been in a relationship with where I haven't been that bad guy. She's an attorney, a family law attorney as it is, so she deals with all of those really bad guys. And I was a really good boyfriend. We have a dog, an apartment. We built a really good life, and I relapsed about 11 days ago.
Mm.
We were on vacation, and I I lost a job, and I had no excuse. Life got a little hard, and I took the easy road out and took a drink. I lied about it. She came home a couple weeks later. I drank again. She found a bottle in the bedroom and essentially said, "You need to check yourself back in somewhere, or we're done." So that's what I did. That's where I'm at now. And I'm trying to be willing. I've gone through the 12 steps. I have the tools. When I relapsed, I stopped going to meetings. I stopped calling my sponsor. I did all of the things that people do, when they relapse. And I'm very committed to my sobriety, saving my relationship, or even if I don't save it, to not hurt someone like that again or let someone down that's given me such an opportunity and so much love. So yeah, I'm just really happy and surprised that I found this community in Hopeaholics. It's wild what you guys have done, and it feels like I feel God's presence right now. And it's just amazing, man. AA works when you work it. These principles, these tools have always worked for me. And for some reason, I take my will back, my ego. I think that, Michael did it all when, he really didn't. So I just, appreciate Chad and Hopeaholics and everything that you guys have done. And I'll be definitely back to this meeting. And you guys, like I said, I got 11 days. I got a new sponsor. I'm meditating, I'm praying in the morning, and I'm trying to do the right thing. So appreciate meeting all you guys, and hope to see you guys again. Thank you.
Hey, Michael, are you and I were we DMing earlier today?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, yeah. So you're Justin's cousin.
Yep.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, he was. When I got sober, Justin was messaging me. He was encouraging me. He loved to see it. I got a little BMW. He was all stoked. He's like, "That's so sick. I'm gonna get a car too." And then he got his little challenge. What did he get? The
Uh,
Challenger or something, or
he had the 300, the
the
Chrysler
300. Yep. And
300,
he
and
was all
Aurora.
stoked on that.
Aurora
And
got
then
hit in the rear-ended in it. It was yeah.
yeah. And then one of my sobrieties, I ended up moving to Oklahoma, working at a weed shop, and he thought that was cool. But I ended up relapsing. I did it sober, and it was just it's been a lot of bad stuff. But every time I relapse, it just gets worse and worse. Right? It's a progressive disease. But um, yeah, man, he was always stoked that I was trying to get sober, and I want to, it's inspiring. I want to keep him in my heart, and what you guys are doing. It's kind of reinforced my commitment to this thing, and obviously I have to do it for myself. I can't do it for the girl or for Justin or for anyone, right? But it helps, and it gives me a little more fuel for the fire.
Yeah.
And I want this thing bad. And I think you got 9 years or something. I've heard your story as well, right? You've had
Coming up on 8 next month.
8 years, right? You got a
Yeah.
pretty gnarly story, and you've been through it. I respect it.
Yeah.
And I know that long-term sobriety is possible. There's so many people I've met in the rooms, and I'm sure, here, and I know it can be done, and I just need to stay in the middle and, use the tools, right? And stay connected to God, and that's what I intend on doing, man. So yeah, we'll hopefully we meet one day, we'll chat, and it's wild that, you know, that all of this is even
Yeah,
going on.
this is all in the name of Justin, man. This whole entire
You guys are
podcast.
right here, and I was like walking that path all alone, so isolated. That was my thing. I would not share meetings. I would just like just enough to get well. Okay, I'm good. I'll just go back and do my thing, and I'm just not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna try to stay in the middle of this thing.
Yeah, man. Well, we're in your
Yeah,
life, dude. So reach out to us anytime, all the
yeah.
time.
Well, I'm out in Ventura County. I'm from Thousand Oaks, so
Okay. Yeah.
um,
I mean,
but
my my wife's family all lives in Agora Hills, so not too
yeah,
far from y'all.
yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'll shoot you my number, or
Okay.
yeah, reach out.
Yeah,
We'll link up or something.
for sure, man. Thanks for coming to the meeting and sharing, dude.
All
Appreciate
right, brother.
you.
God bless you guys.
Yep.
God bless everyone.
Matt, what's going on, my man?
What up, what up, what up, family? And Matt, a grateful recovering addict. And the story tonight's super powerful. To hear both talking about making it on their first shot with no relapses. That's powerful. Definitely. And so far everything's good for me too. First shot, no relapses, and I'm really hoping it stays that way.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it took me damn near 30 years to even try. But as long as we make it there eventually, before we're taken out, I guess. But hearing in the first story, asking for two signs from God, or asking for a sign from God on two different occasions, and then hearing that voice, that's something that I've definitely been experiencing a lot lately. And even after all I've been brought through and pulled through, and all the signs that I look back now and see that I had before and never acknowledged. If you think God isn't real, that's that's your decision, and I'm not knocking you for that at all. But I promise that I'm going to pray that He continues to show Himself to you, because God is real, super real, carries you through anything and everything. I need everybody here to know that, because that man is doing amazing things in my life. And without his strength, I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. I know that. I know that for a fact. And with God, the tools from the program, the recovery communities, this family right here, this shit real possible, man. This shit's powerful. This shit's strong. This shit's real. Keep going. Don't ever give up on you. And make damn sure you know that this world is a better place with you in it. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, really quick, guys, I wanted to, before we have the next two that are coming up, just really quick, if any of you guys are struggling 24/7, as of today, we have an AI tool. We have my
Can we
personality.
put it up?
Yeah, can you put
Yeah, let's put it up.
Chaddick.com in the Chaddick.com in the chat, and then we also have Natalie Eva Marie's AI is complete, and hers is Ask Eva Marie. If you guys are struggling,
If you're not struggling, you just want to go check it out. It's really a fun tool to use. Go look at it, ask questions. It's really quite amazing.
AskEvaMarie.com and then Chaddock.com. The 2Ds, yeah, ICT.com. So you guys can, just check it out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly.
Careful up there on the hill with your...
yeah, she's working out there.
Yeah, I know.
God, don't hurt yourself, Kimberly. It's late.
It's late.
It's late.
Did we unmute her?
Kimberly.
There she is.
Hi, Kimberly.
I am so glad I tuned in today. Both of those shares was like parallel with stuff that I've gone through, but your dedication and courage to trudge through it is freaking give me goosies, and it's like it just reminds us to continuously stay connected to a program during our sobriety. Stay in those all three sides of that triangle and stay true to ourselves first. Is it Jennifer? We share the identical sobriety date.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
5/24/2020.
Yep.
And I hear you, I feel you. It's like
that's cool.
Getting like world shut down and getting sober during that time wasn't fun. But I am so grateful that you are here tonight, and the other girl too. It's like those stories are powerful, very, very powerful. I can't wait to watch the full episode on the other component, because that's just amazing. It's like, and the fact that you got to go through that program down there, dude, on that H&I panel a couple weeks ago. Wow, that room is lit up. It was like the interaction from the room. You could tell those people are getting programmed while they're in the treatment center. And you're perfect proof that if we stick to what we've learned and we follow the suggestions of others that came before us, dude, just like hearing you reminds me that no matter how bad a day is, it's not that bad. It's like in sobriety, I have gone through a situation where I got trapped in my bed because of PTSD, and my body was physically making me sick, and I didn't understand what was going on. But the one thing that I did do while I was in that situation was I hung my pillow tight and I stayed connected to my sponsor, my sponsees, and that was the best I could do until I heard the message of how to get to that next step to pull my ass out of it. And it's like that due diligence of sticking close to program. Absolutely. You guys are just amazing. Amazing. I am so grateful that you are here today. And I just want to say one thing to Michael Anthony. If you can get to Oak Forest on Thursday nights at the bonfire meeting, do it. The community there is freaking phenomenal. That's what I got. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm so glad I was here. Happy birthday, Jenny.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Is that Joe B right there?
We don't know. We're not sure because we can't see him. It's too dark. That's him. I saw the
cigarette.
The burner.
Yeah, the burner.
I saw the burner.
Yeah.
It's him. It's him. We got code. We got code.
We got confirmation.
We got confirmation.
Right? We got confirmation.
Joe B is smoking in the dark.
This is what I do. I'm trying to be incognito to the raccoons. So
right? Are you looking out the window?
No, I'm standing outside. I'm in the trenches, bro. I'm in the trenches.
You're in the trenches. All right.
They scare the shit out of me, these things. They got ankles and Achilles tendons, and they're like humans, but uglier.
I know.
Scary shit.
The bird.
But
yeah.
How you guys doing?
Excellent.
Good. I'm happy. This was a great meeting tonight. The first girl, sorry, I don't know your names, but that was awesome because you went up, down, up, down.
I know.
Right? You humbled yourself. You moved back in with your parents because it was a must, and I like that you got a bike, even though You know, that was dope. Like, these are the little things, right? The little things we accomplish in recovery. That's like, why can't I do this? You know, I already did this. Let me do this. So it was really nice to hear. The second girl said something that almost made me cry, and I kind of want to, like, I don't know, tattoo it on me. She said I had a broken heart and a broken me. I love that because I didn't really face legal troubles. I mean, listen, I got in trouble, but I never really caught a charge that I was going to face time. I really, you know, did a lot of damage to myself, and I got away with a lot of shit. And I guess that's why I kept doing damage to myself, because I kept getting away with it, right? But yeah, you two were really good, man. I really enjoyed hearing you guys tonight. I have to ask for a piece of advice to anyone who wants to answer. Shane, you introduced me to somebody months ago that called the hotline. He happened to live around the block from me, remember?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, the family guy.
Yes.
Yes,
the family
couple
guy.
kids,
So
family guy. Yeah.
he was gonna try to do this dry
Don't tell me
and
he's
not go to the meet. No, it's not bad. It's just he was gonna try to do this dry. His wife didn't understand. I recommended Al-Anon. She didn't want to do it. Fine. So he kind of disappeared. He hit me up today. He's like, bro, I'm ready to go through the work.
Good for you.
Right. Take me through the steps. But here's the question I have. He doesn't want to do meetings and he doesn't want a fellowship. So am I already facing a failed attempt?
No,
or should I just get him to step one
Yes.
and see if he's open in step 2 to come to a meeting?
100%. I'm just going to go back to what Jennifer said. She came here for someone else for the first 25 days. At day 25, it hit her, and she stayed until day 108 for herself.
Well, I just want to say what the Alcoholics Anonymous book
What does it say?
says is when two people come together, you're in a meeting.
Yeah.
So you take
That's true.
You take the
That's
meeting to
very
him.
true.
You take the book. You and the program is actually the steps. It's right there in Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the first 164 pages of the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's the program, man. The meetings are just a fellowship. You know,
Right. Well, I guess I'm more worried that I'm not capable of helping him without. I know how it worked for me, is what I'm saying, you know? So I don't know if it'll work for him without the meetings, but we're going to see. Step 1 is just powerlessness. Step 2 is fellowship, in my opinion. So maybe he'll be willing after the first step.
Yeah.
But I can do it, right? It's not something frowned upon or
No,
anything
you can
like
do
that,
it.
correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%, bro.
All right. That's what I'm going to do. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Always
Thanks.
a pleasure.
Thanks, bro.
Is that it, Joe B? You
Oh.
he gave it. He gave
Emily
it.
shut you. She's been mean lately. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
like,
lie.
it's like-
Emily's been on one. It's been like 2 weeks. I heard.
Do you
just
know what
like,
it is? It's 7:08, and Emily's like, you know,
She's got a date.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, she's hungry.
she's
Her
hungry
stomach is
finally.
growling. Grrr. All right. I hope everyone had fun. Any itching, burning desires? I don't know why I looked at you. You don't. You don't have an itch, do you? You're married. There's no itching in your family.
There's a cream for that.
There is a cream. As
Yeah.
a matter of never mind.
All right. Anyway,
Anyways,
Natalie's not here to keep.
Jesse knows what I was gonna say.
Natalie is not here to keep us in line, so we just do whatever we want.
Anything
when she's
you
not
want.
here.
Yeah.
Because we're not scared. When she's not here,
No,
we're
no.
not scared that we're gonna
Oh,
get
no.
fucking WWE backflip, whatever,
Right?
suplex.
Suplex. Hey, Rachel.
Oh, Rachel Vaughn.
We were lingering. We're hoping someone would. I don't
Yeah,
want to go
we
home.
wanted one more.
I don't want to go home to my wife. I don't want to go home to my wife tonight. I'm not gonna lie.
Just real quick.
I'm joking. I was joking.
Sorry, Rachel. Shane's an idiot.
Shane,
Sorry. Oh
just
God.
real quick.
Yeah, dear.
Sorry I was late. I was finishing a discussion post in my graduate program
Woo!
and celebrated on Sunday of this week 13 years without heroin or
Nice.
cocaine.
Congratulations.
Yeah. it's
Bravo.
just- I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful. I wanted to celebrate that with you guys.
Thanks,
I'm sad I
Rachel.
missed the beginning, but I just wanted you all to know that. Love you
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
It's
you.
a pretty bomb-ass meeting tonight. I'm not
great
gonna lie.
Maybe we should do this once in a while, like once every 4 or 5 months, have duo speakers.
Duos.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was nice.
We'll take a vote on that.
Fair enough.
All right. We'll do
All
that
right.
next week.
Fair enough. All right. See you guys later.
I need everybody to turn their camera.
Let's go.
on.
I'm standing up for this one.
We start. Oh, Shane and I are doing a new tradition. So here we go. We're standing up now. You guys standing up? Because you guys know what we do. We're the only meeting
In the galaxy.
in the galaxy that does this.
Fucking galaxy.
Check it out. We got the whole fucking place standing
Let's
right
go.
now. Ready, Emily? Let's go.
Oh yeah, God,
God, grant me the serenity
to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen.
See you guys later. Oh, we had what? No, some guy wanted to share.
Record.
Talk. Oh. See ya.
Bye.
Well, that was fucking great.
Ladies?
We gotta turn this off.